Hey, it's Jack here. We're back in Pahrump, Nevada. We're at the University of Nevada, Reno Extension at their Botanical Demonstration Garden. We were here at Christmas time where it was all festive lit up. Now we're out here in the daytime. Let's go inside, check it out. We'll cross under the garden trellis and come on in. Now, one of the first things we're greeted when we get in here, they do have this story that follows along the garden called Pictures of Humble Sir Bumble Stumpleton. And basically he's given a task to find out what's causing the winds blowing through the garden, and it's 15 chapters. As you walk around, you can read that story for yourself. He picks up some friends along the way who help him. Coming up here, we've got the Friendship Rocks, we've got the fairy door right there welcoming you to the garden. And with the Friendship Rocks, if you want to take one, you can. If you want to leave one, you also can do that. If you paint those Friendship Rocks, you can drop them off here. We're going to walk around the garden here. We've got the yellow bird of paradise in front of us here. It is winter time, so nothing will be in bloom, but you get an idea of what this garden's all about. Well, I'm not a plant specialist by any means, so if I say a name wrong, or if I happen to point to the wrong plant because the wrong sign's there, or maybe there's two signs, I think it's one plant or the other, don't knock me for it. Just bringing it to you for the enjoyment. Well, here's a chase tree, again not in bloom because of the time of year. This is another chapter of the story that we talked about. Now down here in front of us is an autumn sage. That's interesting. I do see what looks like a pod out here. Actually looks like a small watermelon. I'll zoom in on that. Right there. Not sure what that is, but it is pretty cool. It does look like a small watermelon. As I come around the corner, I come across this information box. Sign says stay on all the trails. If you have any questions, you can email or call that number right there. Right here somewhere is a globe mallow. I'm not sure which one of these plants it is. If you know, let me know in the comments down below. And opposite that, we have the shrubby germander. I'm going to presume is this bush right here. You're walking up, we come across this sign that says plant a garden, feed a rabbit. Got a demonstration garden in front of us. We'll hit that in just a moment. Over here we have a Russian sage. And because of the time of year, it just kind of sticks right now. We come across another storybook chapter, chapter 3 right here. So walk along. If you want to take your load off, you can sit down, relax, take a load off right here. Across the back there is a chase tree. Right in front of us, this stump here and this tree that's above us, it's called a Mondale pine. I step back a little bit to get that pine. That's a rather large tree. And this is called sagebrush. Next to the sagebrush, this is a desert wash willow. And right here is a Texas mesquite. Texas honey mesquite, that is. And we'll look straight up at that. We can see the things are barren. Now up here, up top here, we do have a raven picking at the bark. Getting something there, trying to open a seed up, it looks like. Trying his darndest to open that seed up. He has a seed that just seems to be really difficult to open for him. Over here we have a red yucca plant. And another bench that we can take a seat on if we want to. Name of this tree is called a Chinaberry Texas umbrella. And what they've done with the tree is they've made it, it's part of the story. So we can see the story right here. They've got the tree that's called the old one, and they've made the face on the tree match the story. Got this set up here with the metal ducks. That's where it says heavenly bamboo, but this plant doesn't look like a bamboo plant. I'm not sure if that sign has been replaced or put in the wrong spot, but this doesn't look like a bamboo plant, but it's labeled as such. Walking around out here, they do have the tennis balls on the fence line so you don't hurt yourself. And, there's signs around the property that say stay on the paths. These paths are well groomed as you walk around. Got this sign here. It reminds us to stop and smell the roses. And down below it does say sugar bush. And that sugar bush must be this one right here in front of us. Well, this sign is faded out. It says Mexican, but I cannot read the top of the brick there as it's been faded out. That palm tree goes up way high right there. I can read this brick. It says it's a acacia smalley, and we can see that right there. As we walk around, we see another chapter for the story. It also brings us to a canyon hackleberry, and we can see that right here. Even though it's winter time and it's shedded its leaves, we can still see those berries right here on this tree. So we walk around here, we can see this tree. There's no signs for it. I've walked around looking for signs of what type of tree this is. We got pods on the ground from the tree. There's still some pods in the tree. And as I was walking around, I looked at the chapter for the story, and it ends up the characters of the story are trying to help the ladybug gather the pods that have fallen from the tree. So it fits right in with the storyline. That brings us around over here. On this side of the garden, they have fruit trees. Now, there's no signs on the fruit trees, or they've been so faded it's hard to see. I did see one as I walked around here before turning the camera on. There's a pear tree, and there might be a couple other pear trees in here as well, but this is their fruit tree orchard. We can see here it's well maintained. We can see in front of us that's called an alpetto pine. And it does grow well out here in the southern Nevada desert. Come across the labyrinth right here. We also have another chapter of the story. Go over here and read about the labyrinth, and we'll walk through the labyrinth. It's called a classical 7-circuit Greeton labyrinth. It says there's no right or wrong way to move through the labyrinth, and it's often shared with others walking, skipping, or dancing. While someone is met on the path, simply step around that person. Well, I don't think I'll have any issues today walking around the labyrinth and running into people. So let's get on this labyrinth, walk around, see where we end up. Labyrinth has a definitive start and finish, whereas a maze does not. A maze has dead ends. A labyrinth, as long as you walk along the path, you will reach your destination. As we're walking around the labyrinth here, it says Desert Wash Willow. That's what's right here in front of us. And we'll continue on. Yeah, these paths are made, these labyrinths are made to gather your thoughts, think about life, and so forth. And just kind of take in everything you see. You see, we've wrapped back around to where we started, but we're not done yet. We're going to stop here for a moment. Those mountains you see out there, that's actually California. Pahrump, Nevada is just a few miles from the California border. And then on the other side of those mountains is Death Valley. Death Valley is about an hour away from Pahrump, Nevada, and about 2 hours away from Las Vegas. As we come around here, you come across this bird sculpture thing. We'll continue on following the path and see where this labyrinth ends. And our ending spot is this tree stump right here, where you can sit down for a moment, take a load off, and just take things in. As we sit down here on the tree stump, we can take in the whole garden. Well, over here we have what's called a honey mesquite maverick. Really nice looking tree here. Again, because of the time of year, no leaves on those branches. As we approach here, we can see another one of the storyboards for the story. Right behind that storyboard is a sign saying that is a Texas Ranger. Right there. We'll walk around this way. Looks like this brings us to the demonstration garden we saw a sign for earlier. Got these signs over here. We got some bird feeders right up there in the tree. And there's a scientific name for this tree. But right here we got the sign that says "Be Happy," and this beautiful tree here. Now, demonstration garden is locked up, so we won't go in there, but we're going to take a look-see over the fence here. We can see they got some vegetables going. And things are covered up pretty much because of the weather. It is like, as I'm standing out here right now, it is 40 degrees. And therefore, a lot of these plants in the demonstration garden are covered because at nighttime it's been getting down into the upper 20s or low 30s. Now, here's another angle of the demonstration garden where we can see those plants are all covered up due to the cold and frost. It's kind of nice. They got a workbench right here where you could come in, pot your plants or do what have you. And speaking of potting plants, right in front of us are a bunch of those pots that we were referring to. We can see more types of palm trees out here. Well, if you come out here, you drive in from Vegas, it's about an hour drive out here to Pahrump, depending on where you are in Vegas. But count on about an hour drive. And if you're thirsty for some coffee, right over my shoulder there, right across the street from the garden, is a coffee place. Now, if you get hungry, or you're hungry for breakfast, further up the road, they are closed on Sundays. I'll zoom in where you can see it. But further up the road right there is a Mexican place called El Jefe's, and they do have some fine food down there. Well, as you come over here, we can see this is a ladybug garden spot. And over here next to that is the desert olive. Directly in front of us is a pomegranate tree. We can see some of that rotten fruit right here on the tree itself. See, the birds have had a feast on these remaining pomegranates. Right here, this trellis says a pink honeysuckle. I don't think that plant exists anymore. There's nothing there. Right next to that is a white honeysuckle. And that's the plant that's right here, currently barren because of the time of year being wintertime. Over here, they've got this area where you can sit down and relax in the shade. Now, this time of year, it's not a big deal in the shade because it's 40 degrees, like I said, as I walk around here. But in the summertime, that shade becomes your best friend. And when these trees have leaves on them, there's a lot more shade than there is right now. Well, I hope you enjoyed this walk-around tour of the University of Nevada, Reno Extension Botanical Demonstration Garden right here in Pahrump, Nevada. If you like this video, give it a thumbs up, hit that subscribe button, hit that notification bell, and we'll catch you on the next one.